Hi, I'm Mohit Yadav and I teach at Scalar. In this video, we are going to talk about Delicious, which was a site that started off as a college project and then scaled to 5 million users. In this video, we are going to learn about vertical scaling, horizontal scaling, and the challenges that comes with it. But before going forward, please like, comment, and share this video. Also subscribe to our channel to get notified about our new upcoming videos. Now coming to the topic, Delicious. Delicious was a website that offered users to save bookmarks so that they can access it from any computer. The website was started in 2003 by a college student and was later acquired by Yahoo in 2005. This was way back when Chrome was not there and there was no bookmarking service either. By the end of 2008, the website had more than 5 million users and approx 180 million bookmarks saved. This scaled from one laptop to 5 million users. We'll start from the day it went live on the creator's laptop. Let's start by understanding what happens when you type Delicious in the browser. Now, browsers do not understand the names. They only understand IP addresses. Hence, we need a way to convert this URL into an IP address. In case of Delicious, DNS will return the IP address of the computer on which it is hosted. Now, since every machine which is connected to internet gets an IP address, and every time we connect to internet, this IP address may change. Therefore, we need to associate a static IP which does not change when you connect to internet again and again. And we need to assign this IP to the computer. To get the whole system up and running, we first need to purchase a domain name called Delicious and then map it to the static IP of this computer. If you look closely, there are two major kinds of requests involved. One is the get or the read request in form of get user bookmarks, and the second one is post or write request in form of add bookmarks. Using the IP address that is returned from the DNS, both this request will go to the same computer, and within the computer there will be two things running. One is the application server which will listen to all the requests that are coming to the HTTP port 80, and the second one will be the MySQL server which will store all the bookmarks that my users are trying to save. So till now my life is good. I'm running the website for free and I'm using campus internet. My database is set up on my personal computer, so I'm not paying anything for the resources. And I'm making money out of ads. Soon the website became an instant hit. The user base kept on growing and the challenges also kept on piling up in the same proportion. Every time a new bookmark was created meant that there is a need for extra storage to store this particular bookmark. Now, the best available hardware at that time was around 50 GB of hard disk, 128 MB of RAM. This was basically a Pentium 4 era. To keep up with the demand, he bought better hardware, meaning he bought a better laptop, a better computer. The bottom line is he bought more RAM or more hard disk or maybe multiple cores. But soon, even the best hardware available was not enough to keep up with the growing demand of the business. In fact, most companies of the era focused on upgrading their hardware to solve the growing needs of the business. This form of scaling is basically called as vertical scaling. However, Delicious founder was different. He knew in the longer run his approach will not work. Not only he will be restrained by his system resources, but he might also lose valuable customer data if his laptop crashes. This website is not reachable when his computer is turned off. Hence, this computer was a single point of failure. To overcome the challenges of vertical scaling, his friends suggested him to utilize their own laptops or computers. The idea was to uniformly distribute the incoming requests to available computers. This mode, where we are overcoming the scalability hurdles using multiple servers and computers, is basically called as horizontal scaling. Now, we know that the client talks to the DNS to get IP address corresponding to a particular website. But the question is, the website is now running on multiple server instances. We have, let's say, 4 servers running the Delicious website. Which of the 4 servers available should be stored in the DNS? If I randomly choose any of the available server, all the requests will go to that particular server and that server will eventually die. To fix this, have one machine whose responsibility is to route the traffic to the available instances. This machine will lie between the DNS wall and the servers that I have. And the DNS configuration in the registry, I'll mention the IP address of this special machine and not of any of the instances that I have. Now the question comes, won't this special machine also die if all the requests pass through it? The reason why this special machine will be able to handle higher traffic is because it is only routing the traffic that it is getting to one of the available instances. It is not doing any compute or memory intensive task. And modern day machines can handle up to 1 million requests per second. So using this, we have solved for high number of queries per second on my system. But there is one more problem that still exists. That is single point of failure. Just like any other computer, what if my special server also dies? To solve this, we can have a standby routing server which will not serve or route any request. When my main server goes down, swap the main server with the standby server. But how do I swap? Should I change the IP address in the DNS registry? Doing this will take minutes. Can we do better? Yes, we can. Remember, we assigned a static IP to the special server. The key here is take the static IP and assign it to the passive one. Passive one meaning the standby server. The special server we just spoke about is called load balancer, and we will study more about it in the upcoming videos. That was all for this video. Register for a free masterclass on system design to get insights on how to design a full-fledged system. Link is given in the description below. We will keep on adding videos on similar topics. Hence, please click on the bell icon and get notified about our new videos. If you want us to do a video on specific content, please leave the topic name in the comment section. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to our channel.